Hello everyone. So today we are going to see the brake test on DC compound motor. So as we have already conducted the brake test on DC shunt motor, the same procedure here we are going to perform. So here we are using the brake test on DC compound motor. What is actually a compound motor? So in the compound motor we are going to have two connections of field, that is series field you are going to have and you are going to have shunt field. Both field windings are going to be present in the compound motor. So if you come for the shunt motor, as we have already performed the test on brake test on shunt motor, so in that brake test we are using the shunt motor, means we are having the field winding in parallel with the armature winding. But here you are going to have two windings, that is field winding, two field windings, and that is series field winding and shunt field winding, both you are going to get. So here we are going to use 4-point starter. So here the 4-point starter, that is 4 terminals you are going to have L, A, F and N. Line, armature, field and neutral. These are the 4 terminals. For the 4-point starter you are going to get 4 terminals. Right. So if you see the nameplate details of this experiment, you are going to have nameplate details. So here power rating is 3 HP and the voltage rating is 220 volts, current rating is 12 amps and the speed is 1500 rpm, and the external type we are connecting is, as we are using a shunt compound motor, so it is external type is compound, and the field current is 0.6 amps, field voltage is 220 volts. As we know that the field winding is connected here in parallel, so that in parallel to the armature winding, so that here it is you are going to get 220 volts, right, the same as armature voltage, right. So here if we see the circuit diagram for this DC compound motor, so here plus and minus main terminals, that is 220 volts DC supply. So from that positive terminal of this main supply to the ammeter positive terminal we are going to connect. That ammeter whatever we are using here is DC ammeter, that is MC, moving coil ammeter we are going to use for the DC current measurement. So we are connecting that positive wire, right. So here I am connecting positive terminal of the main supply to the ammeter, DC ammeter, that is 0 to, what is the rating of this current rating is, we are having 12 amps, so I am going to connect for the 20 amps. So I will take that later, but first I will connect positive terminal to the positive terminal of the ammeter. So as that is there in the connection, positive to positive I have connected, right. The next one is, so from the reading point to the one wire is to voltmeter, another wire is to line, or you can connect this voltmeter here. So from positive you are going to get 2 wires, one is to the voltmeter and the other wire to the ammeter. So whichever comfortable you can connect that, but here as per the circuit if I connect from the negative terminal to the one wire to the voltmeter, another wire to the line. So here reading point, that is I am connecting to the 20 amps. So for the 20 amps, so from 20 amps to one wire to the 1 minute. So I have connected 2 wires to the 20 amps, that is negative terminal of the ammeter, and then one wire to voltmeter positive, that is common point. So here voltmeter common point I have connected one wire and the other wire to L, that is line, okay, line terminal of the 4-point starter here. Here in the compound motor we are using 4-point starter, so for that 4-point starter line we are connecting one more wire, right. Next if we see here, so there is a N connection, N, that is neutral connection to the neutral, so we are going to connect that. So from the neutral of the 4-point starter to the neutral of the negative terminal of the main supply. So I'll just connect here. Here you are going to get another 2 to 3 wires. Okay, right, I have connected that neutral. Next, if you see here, armature terminal of the 4-point starter to the armature of the motor. Here A of the 4-point starter to the armature terminal of the motor. So if you see here the terminals of the, if you see the terminals of the motor, so these two are the armature terminals A and AA, and these two are the series field terminals S and SS, series field terminals, and these two are the shunt field terminals Z and ZZ. So here it is compound motor. The compound motor means you are going to have the 2 windings, series field winding, shunt field winding. So these two are the series field winding terminals, these two are the shunt field winding terminals. So here if you see A to A have connected, then field to the fixed terminal of the rheostat, that is from F. So F to fixed point of the rheostat. So that rheostat whatever we am taking is 750 ohms by 1.2 amps rating. So I will take this F of the 4-point starter, that is field terminal of the 4-point starter, to the fixed point of the rheostat. From the variable point, if you see here, from the variable point to the Z. From the variable point to the Z, that is shunt field winding. So from the ZZ you are having the ammeter, that is plus and minus. So ZZ to positive terminal of the ammeter, that is field current. So as we are not going to measure the field current here, but we are just connecting that to show the how much field current is going to be flows through the shunt field winding. Okay, so here from ZZ to positive terminal I am going to connect. ZZ to positive or common terminal of the ammeter, and you are having 0.6 amps as a rating of the field current rating of the machine. So I can connect this to the 1 amp rating. So from the 1 amp rating of the ammeter to the SS it is connected. So here if you see, from reading point to the SS, so 1 amp to the SS. Next, so here AA to S, that is armature other terminal to the S, and then from SS to neutral you are going to have a connection. AA to S, so here it is AA and AA to S. Okay, AA to S, and from SS to neutral, this SS and altimeter reading point or altimeter negative terminal to the negative of the main supply. So here one wire I am connecting to the SS. SS I have connected, and then one wire is connected to the altimeter other terminal, altimeter other terminal, that is 300 volts. I have to connect to the 300 volts, and then so these two connections are connected to the negative terminal of the main supply. Okay. So with this the circuit diagram connection is completed. So now we are going to switch on the machine and then we'll take the readings. So if you see the tabular column, so here if you see the tabular column, in this you are having the tabular column like this: IA in amps, speed in RPM, S1, S2, S1 minus S2. These are the weights. S1 and S2 are the weights, how much we are applying load on the machine, and here it is shaft torque. We are going to calculate this shaft torque, and power output, power input, and efficiency. These will calculate later, but as of now you have to note down the IA, speed, S1, S2 and S1 minus S2. We are going to get that, so that will calculate later. Okay. All the experiments you are having the fuse. So here fuse, how much this fuse rating must be. So that is a main important point here. So this fuse rate, if you perform the test on the machine with loading, we have to choose 120% of the rated current. So if the rated current is 12 amps, so 120% of that 12 amps means you are going to choose 15 amps rating of the fuse rating. Fuse rating is 15 amps. You have to choose 15 amps fuse. So as we have already performed the speed control method without loading, swim once test also we have performed without loading. So for that 80% of the rated current you have to choose the fuse rating. So if it is for 10, then it is 8 amps only fuse rating. Okay. Right. So now we are having two connections in this compound machine. One is cumulatively compound, another one is differential compound. So we have connected for the cumulative compound. So here as this AA to S we have connected, and then SS to the neutral we have connected. So that connection is nothing but cumulatively compound. So if I want to connect the differential compound machine, so for the differential compound machine means you have to connect this AA terminal to the SS. So I have connected to the S, but this AA to the SS, and from S terminal to the neutral it is connected. That means just we are changing these two connections, S to SS and SS to S. Then you are going to get differential compound motor connection. So that will perform later, but as of now we are performing cumulatively compound machine per experiment. That means brake test on the cumulative compound motor. So now we are going to switch on the machine with the help of DPST. First we are closing the DPST switch, and then we are going to start the motor with the help of 4-point starter. Here it is 4-point starter, right? We are just moving slowly the starter so that the motor is going to be starts. So I am slowly moving this towards the maximum position of the 4-point starter, so that the motor is going to be starts rotating. Okay. So the machine started, then we have to set the rated speed of the machine. So first we are going to check the speed of the machine, how much speed it is rotating. So first we will check, then we are going to set the rated speed by adjusting the field rheostat. Okay, so just I am checking, that is 1430 it is rotating with 1430, right, 1430. So slowly vary the field rheostat so that it will increase the speed of the motor. Then I'll check 1494, 1504, decrease 1500. So this is, it is rotating with 1500 RPM. So after setting the rated speed of the machine, you have to apply the load slowly in the order of 1 amps. So here if you see, in the starting it is almost 1 amp, sorry 1.2 amps it is their current. Then you have to increase the, or you have to apply the load up to 2 amps, then 3 amps, up to 4 amps. Like that you have to apply the load and you have to take the readings. You have to note down the readings. Now we'll first note down the no load values without applying any load. So the current is how much? 1.2 amps current. Current is 1.2 amps. Voltage is 220 volts. Voltage is 220 volts. And here S1 is 0 and S2 is 0, as we are not applying any load. This rated speed, that is 1500 RPM, right. So now we are applying the load, so in steps of 1 amps. So I am moving this load to get 2 amps of current. So 2 amps, as it is showing 2 amps of current. So S1, S2 readings note down. So S1 is 0, S2 is 800, S2 is 800, and speed, I am measuring the speed. How much speed it is rotating means 1482. Next I am applying one more load, so I am increasing the load to get the 3 amps. Okay, to get 3 amps, as it is 3 amps now, just I am note down the readings of S1 is 100, that means 0.1 kg, 0.1 kg, and here it is 1.6 kg, 1.6 kg. Okay, and now I am taking the speed. How much speed it is rotating? So it is rotating with 1436. Now again I am applying the load to have 4, current of 4. Okay, so here it is 4 amps of current. So for that corresponding 4 amps of current, it is 0.1 kg and it is 2.5 kg. S2 is 2.5 kg, and then speed, if I measure the speed, it is 1390. Okay, next I am increasing load to have 5 amps of current. So it is 5 amps of current. For that corresponding 5 amps of current, so it is 0.2 kg, S1 is 0.2 kg, S2 is 3.5 kg, and the speed is 1352, and then again I am increasing the load to get 6 amps of current. Okay, so here it is 6 amps of current, So for that 6 amps of current, S1 is 1 kg, S1 is 1 kg, and S2 is 4.7 kg, 4.7 kg, and the speed is 1348. Again I am increasing the load for 7 kg. Right. So for 7 kg, S1 is 1.5. So for 7 amps of current, we are getting the S1 is 1.6 kg, S2 is 6 kg, S2 is 6 kg, and the speed is 1338. Speed is 1338. And again I am applying for 8 amps of current. Load I am applying for 8 amps of current. Okay. So here it is 8 amps of current. So for that 8 amps, S1 is 2 kg and S2 is 7.3 kg, 7.3 kg, and the speed is 1334. Next I am applying again for 9 amps. For 9 amps of current, S1 is 2.8 kg, S2 is 8.4 kg, S2 is 8.4 kg, and the speed is 1330. Again I am applying for 10. For 10 amp of current, S1 is 3 kg, S2 is 9.5 kg, 9.6 kg, and the speed is 1316. Okay. So these readings are enough for this. Just remove the applied load. Slowly remove the whatever the load applied until the meters are getting to 0. This S1 and S2 should reach 0. That. Okay. Now you have to switch off the machine by opening the DPST switch. So for the differential compound motor, till now we have completed cumulatively compound motor connections, that is brake test on cumulative compound motor. So now we have to connect the differential compound motor. So if you change the connections of this S and SS, so these two connections are going to be interchanged, so that it gives a differential compound motor. So here if you see the connection for this, so here AA is connected to the SS and then S is connected to the negative terminal of the main supply. So AA to SS and then S to negative terminal. That means these two connections here, S and SS, are going to be interchanged. So if you change that, then that connection is going to be differential compound motor connection, and the performance of test is same as that of cumulative compound motor. We can perform that test and you can note down the readings. Right. Thank you. So till now we have performed the test on the brake test on DC compound motor. So we'll see the calculations of that, how to calculate the different parameters in that we'll see. So we have got the table. So here for serial number, next IA, that is armature current. It is also called as line current, IL, and here the speed N in RPM we have taken the speed, and S1 and S2 we have considered. These are the weights. so which are shown on the brake drum. So those values are in kgs we have considered, and S1 negation S2. So as already I have explained in brake test and DC shunt motor, so this S1 minus S2, whichever value is higher value, that negation is nothing but whichever value is higher value, so we are subtracting from that the other value, that is S1. If you consider S1 is higher value, S1 minus S2 we have to consider. Otherwise S2 is, if S2 is higher value, you have to take this S2 minus S1, that is negation. And here we have to calculate the shaft torque. So what is actually the shaft torque? So if you see the equation for the shaft torque, shaft torque, so that is S1 negation S2 into R, if you consider in kg meters. So first we will calculate S1 negation S2. So S1 negation S2 is nothing but the values which we have got from the experiment is IA is 5 amps, speed is 1352, S1 is 0.2 and S2 is 3.5. So S1 minus S2 is nothing but whichever the higher value is there, we have to consider that. So here S2 is higher value, that means 3.5 minus 0.2 you have to consider, that is 3.3. Okay, 3.3 is a S1 negation S2 value. And just R, here you are having R value is radius of the brake drum, so that value is 0.15 meters. 0.15 meters is a brake drum radius. So you have to consider the radius of the brake drum. So here S1 negation S2 is nothing but 3.3 into R is 0.15, it is kg meters. If I want to convert this kg meters into the Newton meter, so shaft torque equation becomes shaft torque, that is 3.3 into 0.15 into 9.8. So the units becomes Newton meters. Just I am converting this kg meters into the Newton meters. If I convert these units from kg meters to the Newton meter, then you are going to get this 9.8, the multiplication, that is F is equal to MA or mg. Mg is nothing but, this is the m value let us consider, and g is nothing but 9.8 value, gravity, right. So if I calculate these, how much you are going to get is so you are going to get is 4.8. So that is Newton meters, the units are Newton meters. This shaft torque TSH, let us consider that as TSH. And then you are having the power output, right. First shaft torque is 4.8 Newton meters, and you have to calculate the power output. So power output, so if I calculate the power output, the equation for this power output is omega into shaft torque, omega into shaft torque. So shaft torque is how much? Omega value is 2 pi n by 60 radians per second, and the shaft torque is, what is that shaft torque formula? S1 negation S2 into R into G you are going to get in Newton meters. So just consider 2 pi n by 60 into TSH. So TSH is nothing but shaft torque. Just substitute these values. We know speed of the machine, that is 1352, 2 pi into 1352 into TSH is how much? 4.8 and by 60. So if I calculate that, you are going to get the shaft torque is 4.8, the power output value is 679.5 679.48 watts, 679.48 watts. And then you are having, just write first 679.48, and then you are having power input. So you have to calculate the power input. So formula for power input is VI into IL. So this VI is nothing but input voltage, or you can consider this as VT into IL, terminal voltage into line current. IL is nothing but line current. Okay, so that is VT is 220 and line current is 5. It is how much? 1100. Okay, watts. Power input 1100, and you have to calculate the efficiency. So how to calculate the efficiency? The formula for efficiency is output by input, that is power output by power input. Power output by power input. The formula for power output is omega into S1 negation S2 shaft torque, omega into S1 minus S2 into R into 9.8 by power input formula is VT into IL. If you substitute these values, power output is how much? 679.48 by 1100. So if you calculate this, you are going to get the efficiency as 61.7%. 61.7%. So here efficiency is 61.7%. So this is what your efficiency of the machine. So with that efficiency it is rotating. Okay, 61.7%. So now we will see the model graphs for this with these values. So as you have got 8 to 10 values, you have to do the calculations like this for these 10 values. The same procedure you have to follow, and you have to calculate those values, and then you have to draw the model graphs. So you have to draw the graphs. So how the model graphs are going to be present? So we will see that first model graphs. So with that model graphs you can draw the actual graphs. Okay. So if you draw the graphs between the parameters such as speed, efficiency, motor efficiency and torque, and here it is load current. Okay. So if you draw the characteristics between these parameters and load current, then the graphs becomes, first consider the speed versus load current. So if you draw the characteristics between speed versus load current, so these are the characteristics, the decreasing characteristics you are going to get. So at the starting, initially it is rotating with higher amount of speed. As you are increasing the load, the speed is going to be gradually decreasing, slowly decreasing it is going to be how. And then if you draw the characteristics between efficiency of the motor and load current, then the characteristics are increasing characteristics. Starting efficiency is 0, and then it is increasing to maximum value up to the rated value, right? Then if you draw the characteristics between torque and load current, then these characteristics are increasing characteristics, which is from initial value, that is 0 to the rated value. These torque values are going to be increases. So those are the characteristics of DC compound motor. Then if you draw the characteristics between speed versus torque, then the characteristics are, these characteristics are going to be present. So as the speed is here, the torque is increasing. As the torque is increasing, the speed gradually decreasing, and up to certain value it is going to be constant, right? So these are the characteristics. So with this, the values which we have got, with that values you have to draw the characteristics. So with these characteristics we can explain the performance of the DC compound motor. So thank you for listening this lab.